From WLWT, this is Let's Talk Cincy, presented by Western and Southern Financial Group. Put our financial strength behind you.
Hello everyone, I'm Curtis Fuller and welcome to Let's Talk Cincy. For the first time in 15 years, the National Underground Railroad Freedom Center is opening a new permanent exhibit. It's called In This Place. This exhibit explores the historic significance of the Freedom Center's location on the banks of the Ohio River. The new exhibit is a tribute to all of the freedom seekers who crossed the Ohio River. It features historic photos, footage, and artifacts. In This Place is part of an overall update of existing exhibits and permanent experiences. Currently under development is a groundbreaking social justice exhibit focusing on local and national social justice movements from the late 1800s to the present. This year also marks the 30th anniversary of the Freedom Center. 4 people are being honored with the International Freedom Conductor Award, which recognizes the contributions of contemporary individuals who reflect the spirit and courageous actions of conductors of the Underground Railroad. Previous honorees have included Rosa Parks, Nelson Mandela, Presidents Bill Clinton and George H.W. Bush, Fred Shuttlesworth, and Judge Nathaniel R. Jones. This year, one of the honorees is known as the grandmother of Juneteenth, Opal Lee.
You cannot imagine how joyful, how humble, how magnificent the whole thing has been. There may be some of you who don't know what Juneteenth is. The enslaved in Texas were told they were free for 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation freed them. They'd watch in their churches and they'd pray for freedom to come. And it finally did. When General Gordon Granger and 7,000 colored troops from New Jersey and New York made their way to Galveston, Texas. And he read General Order Number 3 that said all slaves are free. When those people came in from their labor and somebody read that to them, we started celebrating, and we've been celebrating ever since. Juneteenth is not a Texas thing. It's not a black thing. We're talking about freedom for everyone.
Up next, a conversation with the granddaughter of Opal Lee about their Juneteenth national holiday journey when Let's Talk Cincy continues.
So Opal Lee is a unique individual. I've learned a lot from my grandmother, not in the grandmotherly fashion, the one that cooked for you and took care of you when you were sick, and that's where you stayed when you got sick from school. That wasn't the grandmother, all right? But my grandmother was one of service. She and I get it from her, our love language is service. You know I love you because I do, and I don't require it to be. And I think that is the grandmother I know. It was always service. You knew she loved you because she was there, right? And to that end, when you see how much she loves her community, how much she loves people, it's always still been about how she can help them. And so that's the grandmother that I know. So I want folks to know that she's more than the grandmother of Juneteenth. She's a great humanitarian.
The first time I met her was probably about 7 years ago. And I was amazed at her energy that she had then. She will turn 99 October 7th.
October.
And she still has a lot of that energy.
Yes, she does.
What motivates her?
When you ask my grandmother, what keeps her going, she'll tell you I have a list. and I haven't completed my list. I keep adding to my list every day. So as long as there's something on this list for me to do, I'll get it done. All right, I might not get it all done today. So she just rolls it over and just starts it tomorrow and just adds some more stuff. She says, as long as you have something to do for somebody, you know, you have a reason to exist. And I really do think it's what really keeps her young. She thinks about what she has to do to help somebody, and what resources, what connections, what, you know, who can help this person. And that keeps her sharp. And she can recall people's names and things, and when she can't, she can find it written down somewhere. But that, I think if she had to sit down and just, you know, take care of yourself, you know, that she would waste away quicker than if she was busy doing for people.
She told me about what inspired her and motivated her for this journey to Juneteenth, a national holiday. This wasn't just something she thought about one day and said, that would be a good idea. I mean, this was obvious that this was rooted in her, and this was part of her purpose to make this a national, to get this to become a national holiday, the first one in over 40 years. Tell that story, that one that I know that you've told many times, about what drove her on this journey of Juneteenth.
Well, it depends, all right? Some say there was a subconsciousness in her because of what happened in 1939 to her family, being put out of their home on Juneteenth. But I remember when the story came to light, it was because in 2015, she had petitioned the state legislature to commission a Juneteenth license plate for the 150th celebration of Juneteenth in Texas. And she had asked a good friend, Bud Kennedy of the Star-Telegram, to do a story so people can know to purchase a license plate. And so Bud, doing his, you know, research on everything, called me up and he said, Dion, was your grandmother's father named Otis Flake? I said, yeah. Do you know anything about them being put out of their house on Juneteenth? I said, no, she's never talked about it. And so I asked Grandier, I said, Grandier, were y'all, you know, put out of your house? Was there a fire? Was your house destroyed? She says, yeah, I remember something about that, yeah. I said, did you remember it being on Juneteenth? Not particularly. I just remember the commotion. I remember the people. I remember, you know, them telling my dad, you know, if, because he came from work, because folks had told him what was happening to his family, and he had a shotgun and told him, if, you know, you bust a cap at all, I'm gonna let this mob have you. She said, I remember that happening. It was on Juneteenth. I said, yeah, here's the news articles, right? And so, so to say that that was the catalyst for her is not necessarily true, because it did happen, but her family never dwelt on it. So a seed of bitterness wasn't put in her and the date wasn't marked. But when you take a look at how God orchestrates one's life, and if you see your life as a tapestry, she remembers celebrating Juneteenth in Marshall as a child, all right, and the fun, the fairgrounds of it all. Moving to Fort Worth, we're not so much. They didn't do it. You know, you might just celebrate it with your family in your homes and stuff. They didn't do big Juneteenths. But when you see the thread of her life being woven to come full board 85 years later to be positioned, somebody giving you that land, because Habitat finally got possession of it. They didn't know it in their inventory. And when we found out that they had the land, and she asked to buy it, you know, back, they said, no, we're gonna give it to you. Matter of fact, we're gonna give it to you and build you a house on it. So that full circle, her family was restored to property that they were run off on Juneteenth. 85 years later, on Juneteenth-ish, we did it a little early, she's moving back into that house on that property. So again, as God's weaving this story of her life, and Juneteenth being a prominent part of it, you just have to wonder, you know, he had her earmarked for this journey, for this moniker of the grandmother of Juneteenth, because she had a lived experience in it. And but it did not drive her, you know, for what people would say that's the passion you have. It was just there, baked into her to be there.
She walked here in Cincinnati, she walked in Milwaukee, city after city, she was walking. When the day finally came, she's in Washington, she sees then President Joe Biden sign this paper, making Juneteenth a national holiday. What was her feelings at that time?
Well, I know my cheeks were hurting because I was allowed to be with her in the room in the West Wing. I mean, not the West Wing, in the Rose. Where were we? Which room was that that we were in? But when President Joe Biden bowed his knee to talk to my grandmother, all right, and she still won't tell us what he whispered in her ear today. She says, "I'm taking that to my grave. No, I can have something." But that day, because you have to understand, in February, we did a national, at the National Press Club, we did a national press conference, and Sheila Jackson Lee called us and said, "We just put it in the hopper, Miss Opal." And that morning, the senators, Markey, Cornyn, and Tina Smith, and said, "Miss Opal, we have reintroduced the bill on the Senate for Juneteenth to be national holiday." We did the press conference, and that was February, okay? To get a phone call from Tina Smith on the 15th of June that they had unanimously voted to make Juneteenth a national holiday. Because you remember the year before, Ron Johnson, in July of 2020, was the lone no vote. Right. And I have to tell you this thing, my husband, okay, so we delivered our 1.5 million signatures to Congress in September of 2020. And because Ron Johnson said no, and it basically killed it, right? When we delivered, we were going to give those petitions and signatures to the various state representatives and things. We sent all 120, all those boxes of signatures, 1.5 million signatures, to Ron Johnson's district office. My husband and I boxed our stuff up at FedEx and sent it right before we left DC. So for him to not to give up his one no vote, you know, in 2021 on the 15th, and folks were calling us, "Congratulations." I said, "Y'all, wait a minute, that's just part A, that's one chamber. We still got to get the House." And I remember the next day, photojournalists from CBS came and said, "Hey, I just want to sit outside and get Miss Opal's initial reaction when the law passes." I said, "You think it's going to be today?" He says, "Oh yeah, it's up. It's up on the thing." And so he said, so he came in the house at about 6 o'clock. He sat out there from 3 until 6, and he came in, and we put it up on the television. I said, "Granddad, the vote's happening." And before the yays and nays counted all, I'm getting a call from the White House to have Miss Opal there the next day on the 17th. And so as she's, you know, preparing, you know, to go, because I had told her when we started the walk in 2016, when this becomes a national holiday, you are going to be there. You're going to be there for the signing. And for all of that prophetic, you know, again, that tapestry, you know, like the beautiful quilt here behind us, you know, those things, you know, in her life lining up for her to be there when President Biden signs it, to get that pin, her own self. She's always said she's humbled. She was humbled to have had that experience and to be, you know, elevated, you know, to be asked, because everybody wasn't asked to be in the room. My grandmother, the Bible tells you not to think more highly of yourself than you ought. I don't think she thinks highly enough of herself. And so to the honor itself is one that she really worked to get here to be a part of and to receive. And, you know, we had her medical situation that happened. And she says, well, now you go for me, all right? And you tell him, thank you, you know, that she was even considered. Because this was a long time in the making, you know, not just the Freedom Center itself, but the caliber of people that they honor. For her to be a part of that Hall of Fame, of those names, for the significance that they brought to humanity, not because, you know, they were, you know, patted on the back or, you know, wanted or seeked out, you know, to be honored or lifted up, but because of their life's experience, what they lived. And she fits that bill, you know, to a T as a prerequisite, if they were to define the prerequisites for choosing someone for the International Freedom Center Awards. She's, you know, kind of been able to check all those boxes off just by living, just by being present, and doing what she had to do to better the lives of others. So I think it's befitting. Of all her grandchildren, I'm the one I think that is most like her at heart. And so when we started this journey, and when I asked her to allow me to help her to do Juneteenth in Fort Worth in 2014, 2015, because we were getting ready to do the 150, I didn't know what I was getting myself into, quite honestly. But the love of the concepts of unity and strength and the power of the individual naturally resonated within me, and I didn't know that we're so like in kinship and spirit about humanity until I got to spend these last 10 years or so with her and seeing, you know, what Juneteenth could be, right? And her desire for it to be a unifier, to be a healer of human spirit, that I was like, yeah, I can get with that. I can get with that. So yeah, it's a mantle that I wear proudly, but it can be heavy and time consuming, because you are not just thinking about an event, all right? Because Juneteenth is more than just red soda water and barbecue and concerts, all right? We have to see it for where it's gonna take us. It is a tool for our future, because it allows us to now have conversations about what happened, truthful conversations, and allows us to let that drop of that rock that slavery put into the pool of life and the ripple effects that are still reverberating even today, you know, to be acknowledged. And so what do we do about that? You know, it's not about lifting the rock back up as if it never happened. Can't do that. But those ripple effects that have affected life since still need to be acknowledged. And now we got to think about, how do we repair, which is when we get into reparations, how do we repair the human spirit, the tear, right? So, but that's what Juneteenth is. It's an acknowledgement, because you can't acknowledge what you didn't, you can't fix what you never acknowledged. And Juneteenth is that acknowledgement. So now we can talk about the effects and the repairing of that. So Unity Unlimited was officially formed in 2000, August of 2000, out of a need that I saw of prejudice and division surfacing in young people, is where it started for me as a youth minister. And so I wanted to build, and I did build a summer activity that brought different races and denominations together, so that they could sing. Music was the medium, and then it became not just choir, but drama and dance. And so it was a fine arts workshop that brought different races and cultures together. And so we did that for 10 years. And so in 2014, when I reached out to my grandmother to help her, with Juneteenth, I saw that her desire for unity was what permeated. So that melded just fine with the mission of Unity Unlimited. And so as we built together and taking Juneteenth to that next level of it still not just being a Texas thing, all right, because we were part of the National Juneteenth Observance Foundation that had the movement to make it a national holiday. Unity Unlimited itself, taking over the legacy of Juneteenth in Fort Worth, when she issued the walk as her call to action in 2016, elevating it from just walking to DC. When we got the holiday, it was for Juneteenth. But that didn't seem like that was enough. There was something broader. So now it's a Opal's Walk for Freedom. Okay, because freedom is more than just Juneteenth. It's more than just a day in the summer. Freedom is 365. So we need to walk and make sure freedom pervades our existence. And we have to do all that we can to protect it, right? So Opal's Walk for Freedom is why it's not just for Juneteenth. Folks have asked us to do walks in the UK because their Black History Month is in October, right? So when you think of walking for freedom, when you think about walking for demonstration, hey, we need to do an Opal's Walk. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So that's where I'm hoping that this legacy of advocacy goes, and that we annually walk. Even when my grandmother transitions this existence, we will have an Opal's Walk on Juneteenth. And so the virtual component is to allow people to walk wherever they are. It's not confined to just walking physically in DFW where we're going to be, or in 26 when we walk in DC for the nation's 250th birthday. That's where she's going to do the walk in 26. But you can do 2.5 miles, and it has to be 2.5 miles because it was 2.5 years for enforcement came to Galveston for Juneteenth, but 10 times around the high school track. 2.5 miles. You can set your gym's treadmill to your first, even if you do 5 miles a day, let your first 2.5 on the 19th of June be for Juneteenth, all right? And then post it. We have a hashtag strategy, a virtual registration. They can get their commemorative t-shirt, don that t-shirt, do your post, all right? And go live on the 19th of June to show that the national holiday has the support of the nation.
Great story. Well, that does it for the program today. Thanks for joining us. I'll see you next time for another edition of Let's Talk Cincy. Until then, have a good day and a better day tomorrow.